Relocating to Midland, Texas, you probably have questions. Where should I live? What does the market look like? And how do I move from out of town without this process feeling overwhelming? I can help. I've worked with relocation clients here in Midland and Odessa for over 20 years. Whether you're in the corporate move, energy sector, healthcare, or education, I've done it all. I'm a native Midlander. I've raised my family here. Even my grandkids live here. So you're going to be getting experience from a local. I'm a certified relocation professional, and I'm also a member of WERC. Today, I want to walk you through what buyers and sellers need to know so you can move with clarity and confidence. And if you've been searching online, best realtor in Midland, Texas, how do I find a realtor in Midland, Texas? I think this guide is going to help you understand what matters most. Why would someone move to Midland, Texas? There's a strong job market here, especially in the energy sector. There's growth in healthcare and growth in education. There's also no state income tax in Texas, which makes us a popular choice. Midland ranks consistently among the highest in Texas per capita. There is a lot of money in Midland, Texas, which tells you there's strong earning potentials right here and a stable economic base supporting that housing market. It's a place where people come for an opportunity, and often they stay forever or much longer than they even intended. Midland versus Odessa. Midland has a more professional vibe, and Odessa has a more family, fun vibe. In Midland, you're going to see higher prices and more new construction. In Odessa, you've got more affordability options and a lot of variety in lot sizes. If you're wondering, what does that look like? You're 17 to 30 minutes on 191 or Business 20, either direction, depending on your time of day. So I would call that an easy commute. Most buyers relocating to Midland want to check out both cities. I love Odessa because it has great local Mexican food options. If you want your more high-end restaurant, steak, Italian food options, check them out here in Midland. And if you're wondering about restaurants altogether, watch my other YouTube video and I'll break down all the local hotspots in Midland. What can you buy in Midland, Texas? There's a wide range of price points. I can find a house affordable, $250,000 for a client. I can find them a $100,000 small condo if they're going to be traveling a lot for business, all the way up to a multi-million-dollar property. There's entry level all the way to luxury here. Our market shifts with oil activity and can also shrink really quickly. We've been sitting at 640 homes for a while, and then all of a sudden, as of yesterday, boop, 512, 300 under contract. This is where local insight is really going to matter. You're going to get your highest and best level of service when you deal with somebody that not only knows the Midland market, but they sell enough real estate to be able to know the shifts and what's happening within a moment's notice. I'd like to talk to you about renting versus buying. That's kind of an interesting subject, but there's a market for both decisions. Rentals in Midland can be limited and competitive depending on what it is you're looking for. A lot of relocation clients come here and they're considering buying right away. But I have some in different situations that want to rent first. Here are some key factors you should talk to your agent about. The length of stay. If you're going to be here for just a small window of time, it's not going to make sense for you to spend the money and the closing costs to invest in a property in a city you're not going to be in very long. Also, your budget. I've had situations where we're on a very tight budget and we can't buy a house for what we can rent a house that's in the condition and neighborhood you want. So in that case, I just did it 2 weeks ago. Put them in a rental for $2,200 a month. The home was less than 5 years old. They love the neighborhood. We could not have bought the house and had a payment like that in that same market. So they rented. Also, timing. You come to Midland, you've got to start your job really quick, and then there's nothing on the market that you want to buy. Well, we don't want to buy the wrong house. We are going to rent for a little bit. Maybe we stay in our corporate provided housing for longer so that we pick the right house for you. We need to time your move properly. Midland market can move quick. There's a lot of houses on the market, and then there's not a lot of houses available. Some homes sell fast depending on the price and condition. If it has a pool and an outdoor kitchen and a little space for a kid to play or maybe for a pet, that's probably going to go. We got to talk about the best approach. I had a client that was going to be coming to town in 6 months. If you start looking right now, you know what's going to happen? You're going to fall in love with houses. Every one of those is going to be sold. And that happened to this particular client. Once we talked about the timeline of their home going on the market, the buyout that needed to happen for the equity advance that they needed, we realized that their window was truly 60 to 70 days out from closing date. That gives us 2 to 3 weeks to hunt for a house, 30 to 45 days closed. So plan early. Use virtual tours. Some of my clients come to town and we do house hunting right away. Some of them, they're not coming for weeks, maybe even a couple months. And I start walking through homes and I do a virtual tour. I share it with you through my YouTube channel so you can have that 5 to 7 minute walk through. It doesn't have challenges downloading on your phone. So I do a lot of virtual tours. Another example of a virtual tour, you come to Midland, we spend days together, maybe even a week house hunting, and we don't really find the right one. You go back to Houston, and guess what? I call you and go, oh my gosh, 123 Banana Street just hit the market. I'm going to run over there, do that virtual tour so that you'll feel comfortable making an offer if that's what you want to do. So I think timing everything, having a plan, critical. How do I find an agent in Midland, Texas? Well, there's about 900 of us, so you're going to have choices. I think the better question is, how do I find the right agent? Because this is one of the most important decisions. If I was moving to Midland, I would want to look for someone who understands Midland, a local that can be a local expert, because you're going to want that advice when you start talking about schools and areas and lifestyle. You want somebody who understands relocation. There's a lot of moving parts in relocation, and you have to answer to a lot of people. And you don't need somebody that would give you advice that can void your relocation benefit. You need someone who's going to communicate clearly and consistently. Wouldn't it be horrible to be coming to Midland and your realtor's not answering you back when you need an answer? You need a local guide. You may need a hairdresser, dry cleaners, a favorite restaurant. You may need to know a lot of local things. So having that local expertise is going to make your transition to a new city much easier. So if you're going to be searching the best realtor in Midland, Texas, I would focus on local experience. Have they sold enough homes to guide you in the fast-paced market you might be entering into? What systems and what support do they utilize? We have to have systems and we have to have support to have predictable client experience over and over again.
I talk about is the relocation process. This is so important. It usually starts with a consultation, and we can start by meeting in person, maybe have a cup of coffee, or we could schedule a Zoom meeting. The other day, I had a client that just wanted to have a phone conversation. And during that meeting, we decide what the needs are, the goals, and the timeline. This helps me as your real estate agent get all the things lined up and create a smooth system moving forward. I like to learn things about your neighborhoods you enjoy and also lifestyle. Because if I know you're a cyclist or you want to walk your kid to school, or maybe you jog early in the morning, that gives me an idea of what areas to schedule home searches in. When we decide to house hunt, are you going to come in town and we're going to spend a really focused few days? Are you already here in temporary housing and we're going to scatter it out over a few months? Or would you like me to go look for you and send you videos through my private YouTube channel? Now we're going to decide it's time to make an offer, and strategy matters. It's so important that your real estate agent know all of your relocation ins and outs because we want to protect those relocation benefits. We also want to make sure you don't overpay because you're probably not going to be in Midland forever. And the other thing we want to make sure is we get you the best possible terms that match the original goals you shared with me. When it comes to contract and closing, coordination is key. There's going to be a lot of moving parts and multiple parties that we've got to keep synchronized. Relocation transactions have even more people involved than your already busy normal real estate transaction. So understanding and having the experience and system in place to coordinate all these people is going to be so important. A good process removes the stress, and that is my job, to create a seamless situation with a bunch of moving parts so that you, the relocation client, benefits.
I'd like to talk to you about the cost of living in Midland, Texas, because housing is going to be your biggest factor. Homes in Midland are expensive. I was talking to my client from Bakersfield, California yesterday, and he said coming from California to Midland, lower prices. But this is like Bakersfield. Housing is going to be a factor, getting prepared that not only are they expensive, but they're going to sell to probably have a 98% of list. We haven't for the last few years seen a wide spread in list price to sold price. Utilities can be an issue. We have crazy weather, 20 degrees to 105 degrees. I'm going to use my own house as an example. 8 months out of the year, I use 2,200 kilowatts. But those 4 months, your hot summer months, I use almost 5,000 kilowatts to run the air conditioners and the swimming pool. So you want to get on a really good energy plan. Right now, we're seeing 11 to 14 cents a kilowatt would be a good energy rate. If you're going to shop around. Overall lifestyle. Evenings are a big deal. Patio time and grill time. We usually go outdoors when the sun starts setting during those hot summer months. We have a lot of wind. We have a lot of dirt. We have habooms, crazy things happening. So we do want to be prepared for the Dust Bowl days and the windy days. Yeah. There's less congestion when we live in Midland. It takes 30 minutes to get around town, but that's still not bad. And that's in the busy season. There's not a lot of traffic relative to your bigger cities, which means you can leave the office, stop by H-E-B to buy groceries, and be home within an hour. That might be helpful for you. A big factor when you're relocating is schools and community, right? Midland has their public school system. We also have charter schools and private schools. I've had kids at Midland Christian, a private school. I've had a son at Trinity, a private school. And I've had 4 grandchildren at Faskin Elementary. And now I have one at Rusk and one at Legacy. Neighborhoods play a big impact on where you're going to move, right? If you have a certain school, you're probably going to want to go to greatschools.com and look up scores and other information. But once you establish your school, that gives me as your real estate agent an idea of what pocket neighborhoods can we start house hunting in. You want to live in a community that has a strong community feel. And Midland is one of those communities. There's a lot of pride living here. Local events. After being here my entire life, we finally have a good downtown area with cool restaurants. It's got water feature downtown, a convention center, the Omni Hotel. And that's going to make the downtown area even more cool. They have concerts down there in the summer, the big Christmas tree at Christmas time. It's a real family fun environment. This is a great neighborhood and city to plug in easily and meet people. I had a client tell me one time, Janine, I went to an estate sale and I bought a little table that wouldn't fit in my car. And somebody said, here, I'll put it in my pickup and I'll just help you get on home with it. That's kind of describes how Midland is. Whether you're going to do the Junior League or SPCA or Meals on Wheels or your local church or place of faith, this is a great town to quickly meet people and start hanging out at some of the great coffee shops. If you're relocating to Midland, you don't have to figure this out by yourself. Whether you're buying, selling, or you're going to be doing both, the goal is to make your move simple and informed. If you've been searching Midland-Odessa relocation or how to find a realtor in Midland, Texas, I'm happy to help you build a plan that works for you. If this video has been helpful, subscribe or share it with a friend. I'll see you on the next video.